Good afternoon, Mr. Hay. As we know, you are always supported and cooperated with the Vietnamese Australian in the Vietnamese in Australian. So, what is your opinion about NHện T latest court case of 15-month suspended sentence?
Well, it's an area that's been brought to my attention only recently. I do know in terms of THnhưC, he's the brother of THnhưC. And as you appreciate, I spoke in Parliament about THnhưC and his co-accused at that stage was Miss Phỏng Nguyen about the distribution of leaflets in Hanoi concerning the Spratly and Paracel Islands. In terms of the current case, I suspect this is about the Vietnamese government decided to actually take a very closer look at the families, decided to focus in terms of THnhưC's family, his brother. His brother, what he did, he got charged under Article 258. He was charged with for posting on a website photos and articles concerning his brother's arrest, his trial, and his incarceration. That's his own brother. And this is what the issue is that came to trial. No wonder there's a public outrage about this. I know it's a 15-month suspended sentence. In the West, that would mean simply the sentence recorded, but I suspect in the case of THnhưC, I think this is more like a house arrest, and I think you will see that his movements will be largely restricted, all for supporting his younger brother. Now, that's why people are very concerned about this case.
So, as we know, you have raised the issue of his brother THnhưC, but he's still in prison. So, do you have any future plan to help this activist to free?
Well, when I started speaking about THnhưC's case, he was sentenced to 8 years at jail. Since there was significant international attention to this matter, it brought great pressure on the Vietnamese government. His sentence was halved, as was his co-accused Phỏng Nguyen. She was actually released from jail. Now, I think for me that shows the value of international pressure on matters like this. I will always stay focused on these issues. I will always be an advocate for human rights, and particularly human rights in Vietnam, where I think much still needs to be done.
So, as an Australian Parliament Labour, so how do you see your party will assist the Vietnamese activists who are just exercising their democratic rights?
Well, I will always be a champion for the people who actually stand up for their own democratic rights and people who support the freedom of expression. And therefore, it's very easy to be supportive of the human rights activists in Vietnam. I'll continue to bring to the attention of the Australian Parliament these issues. I will continue to speak publicly about areas where I see gross violations of human rights, and I'll be part of an international campaign again to bring pressure on this case the Vietnamese government to actually treat its own people with fairness and dignity and respect. And that's what we do want from our international trading partners. That's something that I think binds us all together, and particularly when Vietnam wants to have a seat on the United Nations Human Rights Council. I think first and foremost it must be called upon to clean up its own act when it comes down to how it treats its own people.
So, you know, having more than 40 activists in prison in Vietnam, so what is the chance for Vietnam to will be admitted in the Human Rights Council of the United Nations?
Look, I can't answer that question, but what I would say that I think it should be a consideration for the admission to the Human Rights Council is your own track record on human rights. By any analysis, you would have to conclude that Vietnam's current human rights record is not good. It's one that we as members of the international community want them to actually improve and do that quickly.
So, do you think Good Australia encouraged the SRV to respect the basic human right of its citizens, worker rights and entitlement and the protection of the union?
Absolutely. Given my background, which is I grew up working for the rights of workers, I don't expect that people are going to be incarcerated and punished by looking after the interests of working men and women. I think they should be applauded, not punished for doing that. But I will work with various people internationally as well as within this country to draw attention to these issues and to keep the international community focused on these as being very, very real and very significant and not what we expect of international trading partners.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Chris, for your time today. I know that you are very busy, and thank you very much for your time.
It's always a pleasure to be with you. Thank you.